Love is in the air. Throughout comic books and media, we've seen iconic superpowered couples balance saving or destroying the world with their love life. Today, the Bear, myself, and Nerd Squatch take a look at our favorite superpowered couples in today's Valentine's Day inspired episode, Superpowered Power Couples. Season 4, Episode 2 starts right after this. Please stand by.
Tuned in
no,
to the
Holly,
Bear...
that's my line. You're tuned in to the Bear and Beard podcast. Enjoy the show.
It's like they're lining up. Well, they're excited.
What's going on, Fandomites? Welcome back to or two for the first time, the Bear and the Beard podcast. I am Robert the Bear. I'm joined, as always, by my majestically bearded faithful co-host, Peter Brian Guy, the Beard. Brosy's Mail, my guy.
Mail Brosius, my dude, how we doing?
Doing very well, doing very well. Also joined by our third co-host, the Pride Squatch, the social media sorcerer supreme, Jay. What's going on, brother?
Just exhausted, but doing good. How are you?
Doing well. Very exhausted. I'm sure you're still doing the whole stage acting thing. Getting signed on to multiple projects. We hope that goes very well for you. Yeah. So we're gonna cut straight to it today. No announcements. Announcements will be at the end. Because this is a very cool topic. We have Valentine's Day coming up in just under about 2 weeks, 3 weeks, somewhere in there. And we wanted to get this episode out. We love here at the Bear and Beard podcast at Beard to Bear Entertainment. So we wanted to talk about it, and we wanted to talk about some of our favorite power couples within different media forms, mostly comic book related at this point, but we will be mentioning a few others from other fandoms as well. So when we brought this topic up, Brian, you started doing the research for this to put all these photos in here. Out of all of these that you've listed here, which one do you want to talk about first?
Honestly, Peter and MJ, because that's my earliest memory of a superhero romance. Tobey Maguire's love for MJ.
Yeah.
Absolutely loved those movies when I was a kid.
The earliest comic, I know I had comic books before this series, but the oldest comic book I remember owning, and I still have, I think 3 of them. I think it was a 4-part series. It was the One Last Day, a story.
Oh my God.
Which took place right after Tony convinced Spider-Man to reveal his secret identity to the world. Aunt May gets shot. She's at death's door. In the hospital, Peter, an adult at this point in the comics, and him and MJ, were trying to find a way to help her, but also trying to not reveal who he is to the people that he's trying to get to help. He fights Tony over it. He does all this other stuff, all for love, not that kind of love, but love. And at the end, love is what saves Aunt May. And it comes in the form of a deal with Mephisto, who...
Don't say that name!
Why would you say that name?
That'd be exciting.
Your boss is quaking.
He offers Peter a deal. He says, I want your relationship with MJ. And he's like, you want us to break up? Like, that's I don't want to do it, but if it'll save, And Mephisto's like, no. You misunderstand me, Parker. I want to take you back in time to where you were never together.
Yep.
It will put you back, Aunt May will be fine. It'll put you back before you revealed your secret identity, everything else. And he's like, so we will never know we were together. What's going to stop us from getting together? He's like, oh, your souls will know. Your souls will know. And their agony of crying out in pain is what I want. A love that powerful that essentially the devil of Marvel Comics is satiated on the lack of it or the loss of it is one of the most powerful loves I think I can comprehend in comic books, at least. It's amazing. It's the only time I ever know also that Mephisto made that deal with anybody, much less Peter. So
that is like the most evil thing ever.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I know he's like literally the personification of the devil, but still, that's really evil, even for like a devil.
Yeah. There's also the talking about Peter and MJ. There's also the whole that Peter accidentally killed her because as he aged, his body wasn't able to hold on to the radiation inside him. So like every kiss, every touch, everything like that as they age. I don't know how accurate this is, but it's supposedly a theory that's out there that he put her in an early grave. And he survived, which makes it even worse. And we're talking old man Peter, like old man. It makes it even worse the fact that he survived and also knowing that he technically killed her. So very sad, very sad. I remember the Marvel Zombies comic. MJ was his first victim when he turned. And he is super sad about it all throughout the comic series. Like, because when they eat flesh, they regain their humanness, or at least the emotions, and that's the first thing he always goes back to is, I still can't believe that I ate MJ. You know, crying about it. So, very, very good power couple there. I love the way they were portrayed in the Spider-Man video game on PlayStation, which I know neither one of y'all have played.
I want to play it, though. I watched a lot of clips from those.
Mm-hmm.
And how far do they dive into their relationship throughout the span of is it like a side quest thing? How deep do they go in the games?
So you actually get to play as MJ in the game for a couple of missions.
Really?
You kind of switch perspectives. It's like while Spider-Man was off doing this, meanwhile, and it's over here with Mary Jane. She's playing the investigative journalist role. Trying to not help Peter, but trying to be a little bit of a vigilante, really. Trying to help take down Wilson Fisk. So it's a very, very good story. They, of course, cross paths throughout the video game. The scenes I've seen where they're talking, because at this point in the game, I think they're broken up, but she still knows who he is, who his secret identity is, and it's very well done. As far as depth, though, I'm not 100% sure. I need to play more of that game, for sure. But yeah, I have to say, Mary Jane, probably one of my favorite girlfriends of superheroes, for sure. Especially in the newer, rendition.
So there was a video. There was a video clip I saw, and I'm going to try to play it, where Stan Lee kind of gets a little jive in the video game about his feelings about PJ.
Oh, I know exactly which video you're talking about, too. It made me cry. Yeah, let's cut the music. Let's watch this.
Here it is.
This clip that may or may not make me cry.
Love seeing you two together again. You always were my favorites.
I'm gonna cry. Oh my god. His love,
that really says it all.
Yeah, he really was. He was a super fan, and that line says it all. You're always some of my favorites. It doesn't get much better than that. Stan Lee.
When we first talked about doing this episode, the first thing that came to mind was Peter and MJ, which is crazy because some of my favorite heroes, Hulk, Thor, Flash, they all have their own love relationships that I
Yeah.
think are iconic relationships. Yet the first thing that popped to my mind when I thought superpowered power couples, Peter and MJ. First thing.
Yeah. Definitely. I mean, definitely worth the top mention in the episode. It's one of the best couples. The way they're doing it in the MCU, even like I can't wait to see how the next film that has Spider-Man in it handles the fallout from No Way Home, because there's all the theories like why she still has the Black Dahlia necklace, why she looked at him weird.
Okay, so if it's like One Last Day and their souls know, maybe she's still wearing the Black Dahlia, either the dream walking, she sees it in her dream, or their souls are still connected.
Oh.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. That's actually, and since we know that, or at least it's pretty common knowledge now that Mephisto is coming into the MCU in the next Doctor Strange film, so that would make sense. Like Mephisto could have been pulling these strings from behind the scenes without having to actually approach Peter. Like he set it up to where Peter wanted to go back to everyone forgetting, because it is a very parallel story that it could easily be the same thing. Yeah, no, that's really good. I like that.
I still think that Ned is going to be a problem. I think that Ned is going to find out that Peter never told him, and that's going to make him go off.
Why? Okay, real quick, because this has, I mean, it's love. It is still love. It's not a relationship love.
Romance.
So I have a theory about that. Ned also dreamwalking sees that he's friends with Spider-Man, and in our main timeline becomes obsessed with figuring out who Spider-Man is, but the only content being put out about Spider-Man is by who? The Daily Bugle. So it corrupts his idea of what Spider-Man actually stands for, and he becomes a villain. And then when he finds out, it's just the nail in the coffin. It's the nail in the coffin. It's you. We were friends and you didn't tell me. I've been trying to find out who you were and trying to be a part of your life, and then boom, villain.
Think of how alone he is now. Like Peter was his best friend, and now he's left alone with no friend. And so when he finds that out, like Peter had good intentions keeping him safe. I mean, the heroes always have good intentions when they push the people they love away, but it's still not good.
Well, if it wasn't for Peter, Ned and MJ wouldn't have become friends. Exactly. So if you remove Peter from the equation, a lot of relationships change. Flash goes back to being a douchebag, if you think about it, because him finding out that Peter was Spider-Man and the whole thing with the trip in Far From Home kind of changed Flash a little bit, you know, to make him a better-ish person. So that changes now too. So, there's so much to talk about Spider-Man. We need to do a whole episode on Spider-Man at one point.
Yes, we do.
Jay, our love for Spooter.
What is some of your favorites? Iconic superpowered power couples.
Well, I'm going to start with the ones that I know more about. Now one of them I think they're one of the best couples in comics, and the other one they're one of the most iconic couples, but I don't think they really work most of the time. But I love Wanda and Vision, of course. They are iconic.
Oh yeah.
I love how your picture is of the same pops that I have. I love that. But yes, WandaVision displayed very beautifully the relationship that those two characters have, and I've loved watching that develop over the course of the MCU. And of course, in the comics, like most things, it just continues to go deeper. Right. And there are so many other stories, like there's so many West Coast Avengers stories, like the one time that Vision shed a tear. It was turning Wanda away from the mansion because of something she had done. And And then there was the time where he was offline and brought back into the light vision, which directly inspired the events, of course, of WandaVision. But it's just, they were brought together, and especially in the MCU, brought together by the same singularity, by the Mind Stone that flowed through both of them. And I think that because Vision was essentially Jarvis, Helen Cho's body, the body she made, and the Mind Stone, the vision that Wanda created in the Hex was just as real as the vision that existed before, because he was the primary component that kept Vision alive, and while he was alive, he was made of Mind Stone energy.
He had a physical impact on the world. Like, he existed.
Absolutely. I just cannot wait to see what happens with these two, if anything. Some people might say, I don't.
One thing I would like to see them explore that I just thought about when you brought up the fact that they were made, essentially, and especially in the MCU from the same thing, is now that we have been given the teaser that Wanda is a Nexus being in both WandaVision and in Multiverse of Madness, there's all these, she was searching all these realities for where she, could find her kids. Well, now that search is over, because we all agree, right, that Wanda's still alive, right? Yes,
I agree.
Yeah, we talked about it in our Multiverse of Madness episode. So
they didn't just give her the best MCU costume in existence.
No.
Just to use her in one movie and kill her off. I don't believe that.
No, I don't either. I want to see her explore other universes looking for Vision. And that would also, just to prove their love for each other, is how many universes is Wanda already with Vision? Would be interesting.
I feel like she's going to be a villain in Vision Quest, because if the theories are to be believed, Vision Quest is going to be Vision making his own family, his own wife, his own kids, and she's going to be jealous of that fake wife.
Well, you know where else she could be a villain? In an X-Men project.
Yep, the House of M storyline.
That, or just directly aligning herself with Magneto.
Yeah, that's true too.
Now, something I did just not that I just thought about, but this is something I would love to see. Is that when the inevitable introduction of everybody's favorite supervillain, Dr. Doom, happens, what if he comes back with a fiance? And it is a brainwashed or anesthetic that she can't remember because of what happened. And it's Wanda. Because remember, he's after all that magic that he can get his hands on. And if she still has chaos magic in her, he could use her.
You're blowing my mind right now.
So it would be a flip.
Yeah.
And Wendigore is in Romania. So, I mean, what if he goes out and finds her in the ruins of Wendigore Mountain and brings her back and makes her believe that she's engaged to him?
I think that tracks.
I think
so
that
basically
tracks.
It would be like WandaVision, except for now Vision's the one going crazy for love.
Yep. Exactly. No, that's great. I love
because
that.
We love love.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah. Can't wait to see more Wanda and Vision in the MCU for sure. I mean, we got the comic book accurate costumes. We even got the white Vision. He's still floating around out there somewhere. Everyone wants to talk about. There's been 3 movies since Tiamat or whatever his name is popped up out of the earth, and no one wants to talk about it. There's been 3 movies since White Vision showed up in WandaVision, and no one talks about him either.
I'm going to take 2 blind stabs in the dark. Tiamat, New World Order. Totally
Okay.
makes sense to me.
Yeah.
White Vision, Wonder Man. That's
Okay.
the next project we're going to see. Why?
Okay.
Or
Yep.
Armor Wars. Or Armor Wars.
I'm on board for both. Yeah.
But Wonder Man just kind of makes sense.
I'm down. What was your other one that you said you knew more like the most about?
Reed and Sue.
Well, we were just talking about Dr. Doom, so that just flows very well.
Thank you. Yes, but let's talk about quite possibly the couple that infuriates me the most, because I love them and I love Marvel's first family. But Reed Richards is such a prick.
Mm-hmm.
I love him, but I cannot stand him. Like, he is. If I were Sue and Namor was standing over in the corner, I would be over there.
Especially MCU Namor.
Dude, I cannot wait. I really hope that they really tie him to the Fantastic Four side of things.
I do too.
Because he's already such a jerk, just like Reed. And I really want to see their energy cross.
Sue, I feel like Sue has a. I don't know if they've ever explored it in the comics, but I really feel like Sue has a bad boy complex. But she thought that Reed, was the safe choice, but then he also was kind of a bad boy, not in the aspect of him being
a nerdy bad boy.
He's a nerdy bad boy that just ignores her a lot. Like that's it happens.
His hubris, his own narcissistic self-importance.
But it's not just that. Part of it is, and what you have to understand is that everything that Reed Richards does is in an effort to make up for the mistake. Is in an effort to try and fix what he did to his family.
Yep.
And so it comes across as apathy and constantly working, but he's just putting all of his energy into trying to fix things. And
right.
And my favorite thing about the Fantastic Four is they are superheroes, yes, but there's an emphasis on the celebrity aspect because Reed Richards, he tells Valeria this in the I can't think of his name, but my favorite Fantastic Four from the early 2000s, and he tells Valeria that he created the flying cars and the spandex suits and the logo and the iconography because if they weren't famous, the world would absolutely hate them. And he wasn't going to put his family through being hated. I mean, look at Ben.
Yeah.
If they weren't superheroes, Ben would be brutalized by the world. And he already is. That's the thing. Even as a superhero, he already is.
Well, I mean,
in the
anytime he goes to a baseball game with the Hulk, he does a lot of damage. So, yeah.
People kind of hate on the original Fantastic Four movie, but I actually loved that as a kid and still kind of hold it in a nostalgic high value. Yeah. And in that first one, we got an experience of that. He had no control over being what he became. And yet people treated him like he was a monster that was going to attack them because of the way he looked. So that's always a fear of his. That's another good love story is him and the lady in that movie.
I was just getting ready to say, shout out to Ben Grimm and Alicia Masters.
Yeah.
I love that story, of course. And, not only is she blind, but she is completely aware of what he looks like to an extent.
She feels him.
Because she can feel him. How would you touch that and not know and still she still
why are you covering your face with a rock mask, Ben? Like she's smarter than that. She knows. Yeah.
Oh, your rock hard abs literally rock.
No, we have to stop.
The fact that Korg now has a life mate named Dwayne.
Dwayne the Rock.
I want to shout this out because I just saw this movie and we're talking about the thing. But everybody, you need to understand why I continue to say Brendan Fraser is perfect for this role. go see the whale. He
Yep.
is playing a man whose exterior causes people to run away.
Yep. 100% agree.
You cannot tell me that that performance would not inspire the most brilliant Ben Grimm. I mean, I sat there watching it and I was just like, oh my God, this would be so brilliant.
Yep.
Also, everybody go see it. It's so good. We sat in our theater for like 5 minutes after, just in dead silence. It's so powerful.
I need to see it. I need
So
to see
good.
it as well. Moving on to another power couple that I would like to talk about. Because, okay, real quick, just because he's on my wall right here, okay? We got to talk Cap and Peggy. I mean, we're talking about a love story that in the movies, in the MCU at least, I mean, he was willing to give up his entire life that he had built at the end of Endgame to go back and live a life with her.
Yep.
That's love. Let's also talk about very briefly the fact that he obviously has a thing for the Carter women, because in the comic books and briefly in the MCU, he not only dated Peggy, but also wound up dating and I think impregnating Sharon in the comics, at least.
Like them Carter women, huh?
Yeah, I think he's got a type, you know, bad A, special forces trained secret agent women. So he's definitely got a type. But yeah, and the What If series, of course, pictured there in the back of that picture. That was also
their stories flipped,
yeah,
but still their love story was the same.
Yeah. So that, I mean, just love. And I could nerd out about Captain America and Peggy Carter for an hour, so we're not going to do that. The one I really wanted to get to, and one of the more, they're both super powered, and they overcome a lot of obstacles for love, which to me speaks volumes, is Rogue and Gambit.
Yeah, I love that image. It's them kind of just pitching each other some crap.
Yeah.
Well,
they do that
look
a
what we
lot
found here.
in like almost every iteration, but they are a very powerful power couple, and they overcome the struggle of Rogue's mutant ability, obviously. You know, keeping them apart, keeping that at arm's length, essentially. Now, of course, they've shared some kisses, as this, you know, as this picture shows here. They've done that, but what I love most about it is that they're both kind of from where I'm from. Like, Gambit is essentially from Louisiana, and Rogue is from Mississippi, even in the comics. She's from a fictional part of Mississippi, but she's from Mississippi. So you get that. I relate to that a lot. The whole Southern Belle, and then the Cajun. Like, I witnessed that in my real life, you know, so it's very cool. The fact that they overcome that obstacle of her power, and they have that banter, like you said, back and forth. They're always giving each other crap. It's which one's stronger, which one's this, which one's that. It's really fun. And I hope that when they bring the mutants into the MCU, not only do I want an actual Southern Belle-esque Rogue that actually speaks with a Southern accent, nothing against the first films, but she kind of dropped that Southern accent here and there. She didn't use it the whole time. But I want that relationship between the two of them a lot more than I want to see any other relationship in live action, because it's something I grew up on. I mean, I was a huge fan of the X-Men, and when they said one of them's from Mississippi, what? That's so.
It's nice to be able to relate to an area, something familiar. My dad, I always grew up watching Superman and Lois because my dad is a huge Superman fan, and it's amazing because my dad and I live in small town Nebraska, and so you got small town
Smallville.
Clark, you got Clark who falls in love with this city woman. She runs a million miles an hour. She's strong-headed, strong-willed, and yet she falls for this lovable small-town Kansas boy.
I did love the fact that she always called him Smallville. That's a funny nickname for the two of them as well.
I may have made a connection. Dad, if you're watching this is purely speculation, and I need to talk to you about this. But my dad is super, super into Superman and Lois. He also likes Superman and Lena, which I don't know a lot about that. He wanted me to mention Superman and Lena have an iconic love story, but I never got into Smallville very much. But my grandma grew up in Brooklyn.
Okay.
My grandpa, who my dad says was his Superman, grew up in small town Nebraska. Fell in love with a big city woman. Maybe there's a connection there.
We like what we like because it relates to our real life, and there's nothing wrong with that. I love it. I love it so much.
Ooh, yeah, promo time, yeah!
This episode of the Bear and the Beard podcast is brought to you by, well, you.
That's right, Fandomites. We have launched a Patreon for the show, and we're asking you to be a part of it.
We are going to take out only what is necessary to keep the show going and to keep attending live events every month.
And the amount of funds still in the Patreon after that will be donated to our friends over the Children's of Mississippi.
That's right. In return for your generosity, the different tiers will receive different things: spring store discounts, exclusive bonus content, freebies at live events, and more.
So it's a win-win-win.
Shut up and take my money.
You help us keep the cost of the show down, get cool perks, and donate to a great cause.
Sounds simple enough. Join the Patreon today and stay awesome,
stay bearded, and much
love.
love.
While we're on the topic of Superman, we're gonna get a little into Squatch talk here.
It's Squatch Talk, baby. Oh yeah.
Because I want to talk about a little bit about John Kent and Jay.
Jay, is that you, Jay?
Is that inspired by you?
I guess. Are you kidding me? But no.
I do think you'd look good with pink hair, by the way.
Thank you. Another Superman character with pink hair that I dig is Manchester Black. So yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just the fact that the outrage. Look, because we got to talk about it. I think we talked about it in our Pride Squatch episode. But everyone was like, "You can't make Superman gay." Okay, first of all, it's not Clark Kent, and that's the argument you're trying to make.
And that's the problem. They saw an image and they didn't research it at all, and they decided to lose their collective mind because they're irrational.
Yeah. The fact that actual political people, congressmen, senators, congresswomen, got on Twitter, was like, this is what's wrong with America. No, you did zero research to see that it was actually a very beautifully put together story. And again, to paraphrase Jay at Fan Expo, you don't have a problem with the fact that they can fly. You don't have a problem with the fact that they're an alien, so technically your human, feelings shouldn't even come into play. You don't have a problem with the fact that they shoot laser beams, but you have a problem with the fact that they're kissing another dude. What?
Well, it brings up a bigger issue, because a lot of people claim it's, when they hate on this kind of stuff, they claim it's because they don't want the character to change. So they say, make a newer character and do it that way. So they finally do that, and they still get outraged. So it just proves that that's not the issue. They're not pissed because they're changing a character.
Well, but here's the other thing that I've also come around to, because you mentioned this about how make a new character. That is the go-to. I see that comment more than I see a lot of things on my Facebook page every day. Here's the thing. With these characters, and it really does more. We're on Squatch Talk, but it really does come down to, most of the time when we see this comment, we're talking about race swapping. Yeah. Most of the time it's when a character's been race swapped, and they're like, well, why can't you make a new black character? Well, here's the thing. Back when these characters were created, the industries that they're a part of were dominated by regular white dudes. So who else were the protagonists going to be? And then the sidekicks and the villains were the people of color and the queer people. But here's the thing: now that we know better, we have the chance to do better.
Yeah.
And as I've said many a time before, Kang the Conqueror, being played by Jonathan Majors, is a likely indication that people need to go ahead and prepare themselves that Reed Richards from 616 is probably going to be a black man.
Yeah.
I'm totally fine with that. Here's the thing. Nothing about Reed Richards constrains him to looking like this.
No.
Except that somebody drew him that way.
Yeah.
He's not a real historical white man like Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah.
And it also doesn't erase what's existed just because they make a change.
No.
What you've liked in the past doesn't poof disappear just because they make something new.
Look at James Gordon in the Battinson installment. Please tell me what about James Gordon being white was important. It doesn't change anything.
Best Gordon ever.
James Gordon's just a great character.
And making him, and this is the thing, what they fail to realize, and it's a chance for, oh my gosh, enlightenment. It makes more sense when it comes to Jim Gordon. Because Gotham City is Gotham City. It's seedy, it's disgusting, it's crime-ridden. So the last good cop in the city being a black cop, it makes sense.
We all know Gotham is very heavily inspired by New York and Detroit if they were merged into one.
Exactly.
So,
it gives Gordon more character struggle. It gives him more things to confront in the police system.
Just like this does. It's the same thing. Giving a character, letting him finally come out and be who he wants to be. I mean, again, we're talking about an alien-human hybrid here. John Kent is the son of a Kryptonian and a human woman. So, first of all, just like with Superman, if it was actually Clark, it wouldn't matter. He's an alien. We know from shows like The Orville, Star Trek, other shows out there like that, Star Wars, but Orville explained it best. And they weren't talking about love so much as they were actually talking about death. There was a scene where, and there was this character that was with a human character from the show, and they were talking about, look, you got to get out of your own way here. You got to get out of your own thought process. Everything that you know of on Earth is not the same out here. Out here, we don't have labels like you have. You pushing your labels and your beliefs onto us is not going to work. First of all, it's a folly. You're not going to succeed. You're not going to change how we were raised on our planet just as much as we might not be able to change. But if you keep an open mind and enjoy the ride, it's worth it.
Yeah, it's social constructs that we've created.
Yep.
And a lot of those social constructs are toxic. And now that that's being remedied, people who didn't want those things fixed but can't say that out loud are finding weird ways to lash out about it.
Yeah. You want to
beat around the bush.
You want to say create a new character. Do you know how long it took for these characters to become mainstream enough to where you care about them?
Exactly. But don't worry. They have plenty of ammunition because look at Kamala Khan. She was a new character and she's already got a television.
And I love her. Echo too. Echo has been she's been a part of the LGBTQ community at least. There's a list, you can go online and find it, of these Marvel characters. We're talking about Deadpool. Let's talk about the fact that Deadpool's pan. Like, come on. It's, every time he dies is funny to you, but if he kissed a dude, you'd lose your mind. What's going on? And
then we got Poison Ivy and Harley.
This is another example. And I love them. I love how they finally transitioned them together. And they did it in the comics, too. They did it in the comics. They run the show.
Straightness doesn't work, people.
Yep.
And their relationship, Joker and Harley's relationship, is the perfect example.
Because it's toxic. Everyone over romanticizes their relationship. Everyone's like, oh my god, I want to be like Harley and Mr. J. No, you don't.
No, you
wanna be
don't.
like David Ayer's Harley Quinn and Joker.
What you're essentially saying is you want to be in a relationship with a dude that doesn't love you, that treats you like trash.
You love red flags, basically.
To top it all off, is actually in love with someone else, just doesn't want to admit it to himself.
Or doesn't want to tell you and is fully aware of it himself.
Either way, however it goes, but you're essentially saying you want to be treated like trash by someone who doesn't actually love you and is in love with someone else. Is that what you want? Are those your relationship goals? I'm sorry for you if it is.
Harley is so liberated when she gets out of Mr. J.
Yes.
And Poison Ivy is the person like pushing her to be herself. Be you. Don't let other people constrain you, and just brings her out of her shell.
And again, I come back to, she's a plant. She's more plant than human. Why are you putting your social construct norms onto Poison Ivy at all? Like, yes, okay, in the animated series that we're all fans of, rest in peace, Kevin Conroy, she was just a normal human being that was really into botany. Okay, that was how she first appeared in any format, was that version. That version has evolved over the years, has changed, different iterations. In Arkham Knight, she was more plant than human, and it surprised the heck out of Batman that she sacrificed herself to save Gotham. And at the end of the day, she didn't do it to save the humans. She did it to save the plants. But that kind of undermines her sacrifice if you look at it that way. So please don't look at it that way. But she's a plant. She's more plant than anything. The only person in the DC universe that is more plant than her is Swamp Thing. Because he's actually connected to the green. So what are we even talking about here?
Some continuity, so is she.
Well, yes, in some of the continuity she is too. But I mean, he's mostly plant. Like he's
Jason Woodring?
99.8% plant, 2% human at this point. Swamp Thing is. So I did love the movie Batman and Harley Quinn. They explored that line very well. If you want to go and watch that, it's definitely worth a watch. I love all the animated films.
So while we're in the DC universe,
yes,
I would love to talk about Barry and Iris. Barry Allen, the fastest man alive. I'm more familiar with their relationship in the CW series, which I am now caught up on. Final season starts sometime this next month. But basically, a lot of people give this relationship flack online because people always have to say that they know how to write a script better than script writers who were hired to do it.
Yep.
But I feel like most of the time, this show nails their relationship. The whole thing is, he is this superhero who's on par with like gods. He can literally manipulate time with his speed.
Yep.
But he's always trying to protect his city and come home to the love of his life.
Yep.
I have had I have voiced my little critiques on the Flash television show. None of the critiques ever had anything to do with how they portrayed Barry and Iris. It is spot on. I will give it one critique. I guess I'll give it to it now. They overuse the whole lightning rod line, and that's a writing thing. That's not a relationship thing. That is a writing thing. You're making it way cliche and annoying. Please stop. CW writers, we know you're watching this. Please stop.
They're never going to. They do it literally in all their shows. Supernatural had its own equivalent. Yeah. They have things that they overuse that you kind of just get like, okay, fine.
But that is how that relationship is viewed, and it's perfect. It's perfect. He's the lightning, she's the lightning rod. She can always keep him grounded, keep him at Earth, and that's what I mean. Like you said, he's on par with gods. Can you imagine? Like, look at what I'll give you Injustice. changed the villain out with Barry, and he lost Iris. Do you know how much worse that would be?
Well, okay.
Than Superman creating a government to protect people?
In the
Barry
series,
would just go back in
Savitar.
time,
Savitar, he goes so crazy that he literally becomes a villain because Savitar kills Iris. So he then becomes Savitar to eventually kill Iris.
Yeah.
That's freaking crazy.
Well, that's just a lot of loopy-timey stuff.
Yeah.
Yes.
And sometimes if you think about it too hard, you're like, wait, that can't. Nope. Silly brain. Just enjoy good show. Just enjoy good show.
Just enjoy good show. Just
you can't
brain numb for a moment.
overthink a CW show, but I really do enjoy them.
Well,
and I do think they overuse her being in distress too often.
yeah. They do that, but that's what happens when you make a TV show about a popular character that's been around for years.
Yes.
You can't just let him solve every problem like he does in the comic books. He solves the problems pretty quickly because he's quick. So if you don't give him something like that, or a team member being in distress or something like that, the show fails. So they did the same thing with Arrow. And as much as I love that show and that character, I really want them to reboot it in the DCU.
So
which reminds me, new project we're working on, Pitch, Perfect Pitch or whatever we're gonna Nerdy Pitch. Be on the lookout for that.
One of my favorite moments of Barry and Iris in the CW series is during the musical episode. Did you guys see the musical episode?
Yes.
Yes.
Jay, you should watch it. It's amazing. I'll find which episode it is and you should watch it. But at the end, he's singing a song to Iris, Running Home to You. And I feel like that song just spells out their relationship perfectly. He has all these troubles throughout the day, but at the end of the day, he wants to run home to the love of his life, Iris, who he's loved since he was a kid.
Duet is the name of the episode. It is the 17th episode of the 3rd season of the CW show. The 17th of the 3rd. Music Maestro, yes.
Music Maestro, yep. Mm-hmm. What's funny is that's the only song in the episode that is not pushed by Music Maestro. That's just something That's just something Barry sings to Iris after he gets out of the mess of the Music Maestro.
And
but all of the songs in that
great performance from the CW cast on all of those. Like
Joe can sing. Ooh, Joe can sing.
Oh, they're both Broadway actors.
Mm-hmm.
Supergirl and Joe West have been on Broadway.
Yep. Grant Gustin coming in with the singing and so amazingly well done. Very good episode. I did like that. Do we have anyone else to talk about?
I have one more.
Oh,
is that She-Hulk and Wyatt Wingfoot?
Yes.
Yeah. So I know nothing about them, but I just love that she's randomly carrying him.
Yes. Okay.
She's just like, you're coming with me.
Yes, they are. Okay, so here's the thing. We all know that Jennifer Walters does one thing very, 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 very well, and that is have many, 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 many intimate partners.
Oh, I thought you were just going to say smash. So
pretty much.
Well, that's
in all of its definitions.
Smash. Yeah.
Sometimes she smashes Matt Murdock.
She smashes the fourth wall. She smashes Matt Murdock. She smashes enemies.
Anyway.
Oh, that's the only bad decision she ever made. But I get it. Juggernaut.
But I have always felt that Jennifer Walters is best when she's with Wyatt Wingfoot. And their story is back when Secret Wars #1 happened, Ben Grimm was transported to Battleworld, and Jennifer Walters had to fill in on the Fantastic Four. It's there that she met Johnny Storm's best friend and fellow astronaut, Wyatt Wingfoot, and they fell madly in love. And one of my favorite things ever that I should have sent the picture, but it's snowing in New York, and they're talking about how cliche it would be if they kissed like a movie, and it's just a really sweet little 4th wall break, and it's so touching. And then of course they do, and he's like, I'm gonna hate myself for the rest of my life if I don't. And I'm just like, but again, for somebody who first searched for validation within herself and then searched for validation elsewhere, and Wyatt Wingfoot just brings Jennifer to completion, I think. And they are just so great together. And of course, their dynamic. The best thing about it is when she picks him up to kiss him. It happens so many times, and she holds him by the collar, and it's just great. It's great. I love it. Awesome. Yep.
I hope they explore that relationship in the future with She-Hulk, because we're just getting started with She-Hulk, so I would love, because I don't know this relationship, I would love to know it. So Marvel, get on it.
I would love to see who they would cast, and the best thing is I would love it if he showed up in Echo.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing, Wyatt Wingfoot, if you can't tell by his name, is Native American. And so, what if, through some connection to her family, maybe he does show up? Maybe he does show up in Echo. I think it would be great.
That'd be a perfect slot.
Can I tell you the vibe I'm getting for fan cast for him? Simply based off of this photo alone.
Yeah.
I'm getting a lot of Wonder Woman's boyfriend's vibe, Chris Pine.
Chris Pine would be so good because he has to be a pretty boy. But Boo Boo Stewart is also great. He may be a little young, but he's also Native American. There's not many prolific working younger Native American actors at the time, but there is that brilliant actor who he's in the show Reservation Dogs, I believe, and he is so funny. And I'll have to look him up, but yes, he would be great.
What if they got old dude, what's his name? I can't remember his character's name or the actor's name, but he was in Stranger Things. He played the pizza guy.
Oh, well, he's a little young.
Is he though? Because isn't he supposed to be like a college-age student in that show?
How old?
Yeah, but Jen's not that. She's not like college.
But what I'm saying is that they might have made him look younger, like they do with most of those actors are over 20 and they're playing teenagers.
That's true.
So it's possible that he's like in his 30s.
I wouldn't put it past Marvel to try to bring Taylor Lautner back into the spotlight either.
Oh, don't give me hope. Taylor's actually, I want Taylor so bad in the MCU. He's
Theo James would be great too. He's
a great actor.
They
didn't give him a shot, is all it is. Like everything they tried to cast him in after Twilight didn't do so hot. That's Robert Pattinson's career. I could get on a whole tangent here, but well, his career suffered because before Twilight and after Twilight, he was in a lot of indie films that did very well.
Yes.
Taylor Lautner, for as far as I know, was only in one project after, and they tried to make him into an action hero, and it didn't work. So I liked it though. It was called Abduction. If you ever want to check out more Taylor Lautner stuff.
The one where he thought he was adopted.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And he was like a secret agent, activated something. I can't remember.
Great movie. Plot. Yeah.
It was a good movie.
So speaking of Batman, because you mentioned Batman there for a second, I have one last honorable mention for a couple. Okay. When I searched up Batman love, everything that came up was Batman and Catwoman. But what I was looking for was the lesser appreciated Batman and Wonder Woman.
Yep.
You make me so. Yep. I was hoping we would talk about this because animated Justice League Unlimited and Batman animated series. Yes.
And they hinted at it in Justice League, both versions.
Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness.
She was into him.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
That's one sad thing we'll never get to see come
So-
to fruition.
So, fun fact. Y'all ready for a fun fact here? So, I just did general nerd trivia for some private events. And while I was doing that, I was doing DC research. And there were two things about Wonder Woman that I included in my trivia. The first one was, and I'll see if y'all can guess this. What was what was Wonder Woman's original name before they actually decided to call her Wonder Woman? Do y'all know what it was?
I should know this, but
Like a superhero name?
Yeah. She had an actual name, and it was not Wonder Woman. It was something else.
Probably something Greek.
Kind of. They were originally going to call her Suprema.
I feel like I've heard that.
The second piece of nerd knowledge that I can drop on you in the form of a trivia question is, what hero was Wonder Woman originally written to be in a relationship with? Jay?
Green Lantern.
It was the Green Lantern. It was Hal Jordan's Green Lantern.
Really?
And when I found that out, it surprised me.
I would have never in a million years shipped them.
Nope.
Mainly because I don't think about Green Lantern that often. But
They
Right.
can fly jets together. I do.
Yeah. Couldn't you
but
just
Batman
see-
could get in the Batman jet and fly
Let me say it
alongside.
again. Chris Pine is Hal Jordan. Gal Gadot stays on as Wonder Woman. There you go. You just win again.
Yeah, I mean, Chris Pine could just, like, he's not that character.
Don't do
They
that.
could
Don't
recycle.
listen to me.
Look. They got to reboot it, don't they?
But they're going to recast her.
Yeah, I hope not. I like her. I like Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. But you're right. Batman and Wonder Woman, especially because I think she had a lot of respect for Batman.
Yes.
Like, there was always in Young Justice, I see it a lot. I've caught up on that show. I want another season. Please get on that, Warner Brothers. But their relationship in there is it's never a relationship, but she has a lot of respect for Batman because she is the first one of the entire Justice League to recognize this man has no powers, but he fights alongside us.
Yeah.
Green Lantern makes fun of him for it. Aquaman thinks it's cute. Superman, well, him and Bats have that back and forth where it's like, I respect you for not having superpowers, but there's things you can't do. But then at the same time,
judges Batman.
yeah, but then Superman is also goes, here's a piece of kryptonite because you're the only person I trust to ever take me down if I need to be taken down. So it's a back and forth, but Wonder Woman, it's mostly respect. It's because he reminds her of the old gladiators from her time. You know, the old Roman soldiers and stuff, these men that could battle gods and survive. So it's a very, very underappreciated relationship. I agree. I need more of that in the DCU. I mean, I like Selena Kyle and all, but the only reason they love each other is Batman's got a bad girl complex, if you really think about it. We talked about Harley.
He had a son with one.
Yep. Talia.
Talia.
Oh, Talia al Ghul. Yep.
He never saw it coming.
Well, she is an assassin, so
Hit 'em all.
never saw it coming. Oh man, well, this was a lot of fun.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Hope everyone's going to have a good Valentine's Day.
Yeah, go find your Reed to your Sue or your Iris to your Barry and snuggle up with them close. Take them out to Din Din.
I'm taking application. No, I'm kidding.
Try not to fight any crime because we know that gets in the way a lot of relationships.
Big time.
So, hopefully on
Snuggle up,
Valentine's
pop some
Day.
popcorn and watch some WandaVision.
Yep. Hopefully on Valentine's Day we're going to be playing the Newlywed game at Dogmud. I'm going to be hosting that again this year. Hopefully, we haven't talked about it yet with Dogmud staff, but if you're in the area, be on the lookout for that and everything like that. And now I guess let's get into our Talking Nerdy segment before we do it, shall we?
Hello, can you hear me? Each episode, the Bear and the Beard ask a question that they want your input on, along with sharing comments, suggestions, and other things they have already collected. They love to hear from their fans, so let's get nerdy with it.
All right, so y'all have been doing some nerdy talking to us, and we love it. Going straight to YouTube for this week's Talking Nerdy segment, going to be reading some comments from some of our latest videos that we've put out. We have on our Nerdy Reacts, Quantum Mania, we had Gaming Activated, which is our friend Chuck. He said, "Hey guys, it's Chuck. The NOLA Expo was awesome. Got some great comics. I got books signed by Clayton Crane and Greg Land. These two artists are some of my faves. I love the new reaction video, guys, but I think y'all need a comic collector's perspective." Laugh out loud. Jay, you rock. Bear, you're the man, and you know it. Laugh out loud. Brian, we haven't met yet, but hopefully soon. Keep up the good work, guys, and I look forward to watching and listening to the amazing content you guys are producing. Thank you, Chuck.
Thank you, Chuck.
We do want to get Chuck on an episode very soon, so we will be trying to do that.
Yeah.
More comments coming from our last episode, season 4, episode 1, New Year, New Hype, Same Nerds. We have Peter. "Hey guys, I'm one of the voice actors for UH. We love UH. We love the Umbrella Holics. Thank you so much. And just wanted to reach out and say how much I loved watching this. I haven't seen the Rise of Beasts trailers yet, and I freaked out." Laugh out loud. "I would love to do a voice for the NPC if you still need volunteers." We did talk about that in that episode. "Keep up the great work." Thank you, Peter, so much. The Frack and Friends show commented, said, "Oh yeah, exciting year coming." And our friend Princess said, "I'm super excited for The Last of Us. Seeing Lyanna Mormont and Oberyn Martell alive again brings a tear to my eye." Thank you, Princess. Okay, so I'm gonna stop reading comments right here. We talked about it before recording. We're gonna let 5 episodes of The Last of Us get out, and then we're gonna do a live stream. So if you're looking for Last of Us content from us, be on the lookout for that. It's coming. But we want there to be enough content for us to talk about. We could easily do an every episode breakdown if we really wanted to, but I can't commit to that. And I'm the one that played the games. So I'm not saying my co-hosts can't do it by themselves if they want to.
I can't do it.
I just really want to be a part of it. So we're going to push it until 5 episodes have come out. We have content to talk about.
We wouldn't want to talk about it without you anyways. So.
And then we'll do another one at the end of the 10 episodes as well. So we'll do that. Now we have some comments coming from the basics on King Conqueror. We have Swift Justice 2020 said, "Isn't he a descendant of Reed Richards? The casting of Kang doesn't really appeal to me, unlike Thanos." So we addressed this in our comments, but we're going to address it here. Hey, to each their own. But what I want to say on this topic is, if it really doesn't appeal to you, I want you to remember that we haven't actually seen Kang the Conqueror yet.
Yep.
Except in the trailer. We've seen the one that remains, He Who Remains, and that's it. That's the only version of Kang we've seen. We haven't seen Jonathan Majors go full Kang the Conqueror yet, so please
that
give it a
trailer
shot.
had some scary.
Yeah.
If some of the leaked stuff is to be believed, this is going to be. He is going to be a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah.
I am not the type of person to make assumptions or bold claims like this, and I'm not going to. But my point is, the character, like I said in my comment, and just like Reed Richards, there are 2 things. He's super smart and he builds technology.
Yep.
What about that cannot be done by a black man?
And to also say that he isn't he the comment itself, and just so you know, if you are watching this with Justice, we're not hating on your comment. We're trying to educate here. And you may already know this. I'm not trying to insult your intelligence, but descendant. He's way down the line. He's in the future. So it doesn't matter, like, that he could be any race and it wouldn't matter because he's that far in the future.
Centuries. 10 centuries.
Yeah. And a lot of people are attaching John Krasinski's version of Reed Richards because they think that's the definitive Richards, and they're going to be sorely disappointed, but that's not what's happening.
And even if they're not, okay, fine. Even if you're not wrong and John Krasinski is our new MCU Mr. Fantastic, okay, there's still nothing to say that centuries from now, from where we are in the MCU timeline, there's not a Jonathan Major-esque descendant of John Krasinski.
Exactly.
He was Jack Reacher. Come on. You telling me Jonathan Majors can't be descended from Jack Reacher? Okay.
But not even that. It's through marriage and through reproduction.
Exactly.
Eventually, there are white people alive today who have descended from, and vice versa. Because Syrian great grandmother right here. Syrian great grandmother just 2 generations ago, right here. And I'm white as snow, unless I've been tanning. Cannot tell me that 10 centuries, that is 10,000 years.
Yep.
After Reed Richards was alive, that he couldn't be a different race.
So we're excited for it. And to sum it all up, we're excited for it. We hope that you at least give it a shot. And with that knowledge moving forward, and if it still doesn't appeal to you after you've seen Quantumania, by all means.
Josh Brolin isn't a purple alien.
But he brought such a dynamic to that character. Last comment here is from Rob. Also
hi, Rob.
YouTube, on our previously on that 70s show teaser, said thank you for this video. I'm rewatching that 70s show on DVD. So it's a great show, as we said in our comments. Can't wait for more of that 90s show. And that is hopefully going to be our next episode. We're going to be talking about that 90s show and other 90s nostalgia with the Frack and Friends show, as we mentioned, have also commented. So hopefully we can get them on board, and we're going to get that out to you soon. And for this week, our Talking Nerdy topic is, what's your favorite fandom relationship? And also, I'm going to go a little bit further here. So that's the topic, that's the question, but I'm going to go a little bit further here. And if you want to, share your nerdy love story with us, kind of like Brian mentioned with his grandmother and his grandfather maybe being a little bit inspired by soups to get together. That we don't have any proof of that, but something like that. What's your nerdy love story? And we could read those on an episode or something like that. If you feel like sharing those with us. Mine with Mama Bear is, I'll give you a little tidbit. We were drawn together by the X-Files theme song. She hated it. She hates that song. And I kept playing it at a Halloween party because I was controlling the music and laughing about it. I was the general, I'm going to bully her to make sure she knows that I care kind of guy back then. And that's how our relationship started, was that night. We've been together off and on a few times, but that was high school. And we've been together ever since. So since 2011. So going on 12 years this December. So that's a little bit. And now, and so much of what she does for the show, she's a huge nerd. She calls herself a new nerd because she doesn't know as much about some of the fandoms we know about, but she knows a lot about Lord of the Rings. She loves Lord of the Rings. And she is learning to enjoy some of the other stuff like Avatar, the Marvel movies, the Marvel shows, the Star Wars things, and such like that. So it's a nerdy relationship for sure. So if you want to share those stories with us.
Are we giving our answers?
Yeah. Okay. Do y'all have a nerdy love story, a relationship that was or is?
I was just talking about my favorite fandom relationship.
Yeah, what's your favorite fandom relationship too, if you want to share that?
Mario and Princess Peach.
Oh, great relationship.
Always. Always Mario.
He fights a whole fictional world to save her. Come on.
Exactly.
I'm gonna say. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say my guy goes through literal hell for that woman.
Even though we didn't get a lot of it, my answer is gonna be Bruce and Nat in Avengers.
Yes. I love.
I would also
because-
love them to explore Bruce and Betty too at some point again.
Yes,
I'm sure that
because
counts.
it has that aspect of when he's raging and he's feeling the fire. She can stand right in front of him, and all of a sudden, it's like he's not destroying anything. He's looking at her. He's focused on her, and if no one else pisses him off, she can calm him down, bring him down. She is like the weather to the shelter to his storm.
Yeah,
and Nat was that to him in Avengers.
My favorite rendition of that, it wasn't Nat and him, but my favorite, the calming of the storm, animated film, The Next Avengers, where it was their kids. It was Cap, and I think it was Cap and Nat's kid. And then I can't remember how they paired up the actual Avengers to have children, but we see Hulk. Essentially, he wasn't Maestro, but he was Old Man Hulk, and Betty is the only one. They have to reach out to her and she has been helping him keep a lid on being Hulk for years at this point in the film. Very well done. And yeah, the deleted scenes that we finally got, they weren't even on my Blu-ray for the film, which saddens me. But the ones we finally got, I really feel like they should have been in the movie because we would have gotten more of that relationship as well. So yeah, my favorite, as I mentioned before, still this one right here. That one, Cap and Peggy. It's amazing, and I want to hear more about how they live their life moving forward in the MCU as well, if we ever do. So that's going to do it for our Talking Nerdy segment. Thank you so much for the comments and for the interactions on our videos and Facebook page and all that good stuff. And let's play that nerdy talk outro.
Be sure to send in your response to this week's Talk Nerdy topic and any other nerdy stuff like episode topic suggestions, fan theories, or cosplay photos so we can put it in future episodes. If you think it's nerdy, we want you to share it. The Talk Nerdy links like the email and website are in the episode description as always. And don't forget, you can also call or text the Nerd Line. That number is in the description as well. That's all for now. Let's get back to the show.
Back to the show indeed, just in time for announcements. We have been approved for Pensacon 2023. We'll be doing panels down there, hopefully hanging out with our friends over at So Geeking Cool the whole weekend. We're actually, secret time, trying to get Brian down here for that con because it is going to be one of the biggest events I feel like Pensacon's ever put on. It's their 10-year anniversary.
Especially for Doctor Who.
Yeah.
Doctor Who fans must be there, and I am a Doctor Who fan. I get to walk up to Christopher Eccleston if I go and tell him, although you're not my favorite Doctor, you are my first Doctor, and I will always treasure you for that.
Yes.
Thanks for getting me into something I never did.
Exactly. And that's how it should be. And that's how it should be.
Yep.
So,
that's going to be awesome.
Also, we have another con coming up so that's February, and then in March, we haven't been approved for yet, but we have put in for, like we mentioned before, Mississippi Anime Fest. Hopefully you'll come see us at that, and Coast Con down on the Mississippi Gulf Coast. So be on the lookout for updates on those. We are staying on top of it, trying to get approved to be at those, and we might have some cosplay help at Mississippi Anime Fest. Shout out to our friend Little Oso Cosplay, who actually does anime cosplays. And since we don't,
you can do everything I don't do.
Yeah. So be on the lookout for that. And that's going to do it for announcements. Had a lot of fun at the Dogma Tiki Night, which was this last weekend, the weekend before this releases. That was a lot of fun. Thank you, Dogma Tavern, for having us out for that. Wasn't really nerdy, but I mean, I did dress up as Gilligan. So, and those pictures will be posted on our page if you want to see that photo. Be sure to follow us on Facebook and get that invite to the Talking Nerdy group, and we'll get you in there. Talk nerdy to us some more. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe here on the YouTube page if you're watching it here. And then
Smash that like button.
if you're not and you're listening to us on a podcast app, be sure to go ahead and subscribe to the show so that your device downloads it automatically for you. This is all information that's in the outro, of course, but I just like to make sure that it is said at least twice. So thank y'all so much. We love you all. Maybe not as much as, these two love each other, Peter and MJ, but we do love you. So we hope you enjoyed this episode very much. Guys, I love you both. Can't wait to see y'all next episode. Until then, I've been the Bear.
I've been the Beard.
I've been Nerd Squatch.
And we want to remind you, as always, to stay awesome,
stay bearded,
and much love. We'll see you next time. Until then, we are out of here.
Boom, cut the check.
That was totally wicked!
Thanks for checking out another Bearded Bear Entertainment production. New episodes of this show are released every other Friday at 8 a.m. Central Standard Time in both audio and video format. Audio episodes are available pretty much anywhere you get your podcasts, and YouTube is the only place for video format. For listeners, subscribe on your app so your device downloads it automatically. And for viewers, subscribe and click that little bell so you're notified about all our new nerdy content. Also, don't forget to follow us on our socials. Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok are all great places to interact with us. Many thanks to the rest of our team, all of our geeks of the round table, and all of our awesome friends of the cast. Much love, y'all. Lastly, for more cool music like this awesome outro track, go check out HarlequinSoul, Secret Apex on Facebook and Spotify. His links are in the description as well. Talk at you next episode, nerds. See you then.
Your friend or an enemy, if so stay away from around me. Welcome to the end. Are you a fan or just pretend? I'd like to know if you're a friend or an enemy, if so stay away from around me. Welcome to the end.